What if I told you that artificial superintelligence could solve every problem humanity faces, but it will never happen? Not because the technology will not work, but because of one fatal flaw that nobody saw coming. Right now, leading artificial intelligence researchers predict artificial superintelligence could arrive as early as 2026. And when it does, it promises to be humanity's ultimate solution. Climate change? Artificial superintelligence could design perfect renewable energy systems, revolutionary carbon capture, and materials that actively remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Healthcare? Artificial superintelligence could discover cures for cancer, design personalized treatments, and eliminate diseases that have plagued humanity for millennia. Every problem we face, poverty, disease, climate change, resource, scarcity, artificial superintelligence could solve them all. But there is a catch. And it is bigger than anyone realized. Here is what everyone gets wrong about artificial intelligence solutions. They assume that designing the perfect answer is the same as implementing it. But artificial superintelligence does not live in the real world. We do. When artificial intelligence designs the perfect diagnostic system, who operates it? Humans. When it creates revolutionary treatments, who administers them? Humans. When it solves healthcare, who implements the solutions? The same humans whose jobs artificial intelligence just eliminated. Let me give you a concrete example. Artificial intelligence could design diagnostic algorithms that detect cancer earlier and more accurately than any human doctor. But implementing it requires doctors to trust and use the system, nurses to execute the treatment plan, and medical technicians to maintain the technology. The problem? Those same workers are being replaced by artificial intelligence systems across every industry. And here is where it gets interesting. Picture this. You are an office administrator. You process invoices, manage schedules, and coordinate projects. But artificial intelligence can do your job faster, cheaper, and without mistakes. Your company eliminates your position. But now, they need you to help train and implement the artificial intelligence system that replaced you. What do? If you are rational, you resist, you vote against it, you lobby against it, you might even sabotage it. Because cooperation means economic suicide. This is not theoretical. We are already seeing this pattern. Truckers lobby against autonomous vehicles. Coal workers oppose renewable energy. Factory workers resist automation. But here is what makes the artificial superintelligence version catastrophic. It is not just one industry, it is every industry simultaneously. Let us look at law enforcement. Artificial superintelligence could revolutionize policing with perfect crime prediction, instant evidence analysis, and flawless surveillance systems. But it threatens the jobs of police officers, detectives, and security personnel. Who do you need to implement better law enforcement? The same cops and investigators artificial intelligence just made obsolete. Education? Artificial superintelligence could personalize learning for every student, but it displaces teachers. Who implements the new education system? Teachers. The pattern repeats everywhere: transportation, manufacturing, research, agriculture, even government. Artificial superintelligence solves everything in theory, but needs cooperation from the very people it displaces in practice. This creates what we might call the implementation paradox. The more capable artificial intelligence becomes, the more resistance it generates. The better the solution, the less likely it is to be implemented. But it gets worse. Most artificial superintelligence solutions require coordination across multiple sectors. Transforming healthcare needs doctors and nurses and technicians and administrators all cooperating. Rebuilding infrastructure needs engineers and construction workers and manufacturers and logistics coordinators. If any critical group resists, the whole system fails. And as displacement spreads across every industry, resistance becomes organized and political. We could end up in a world where we have the technology to solve every human problem, but humans will not let us use it. The ultimate irony, our solution to human problems becomes politically impossible because it is too good at solving human problems. Now, artificial superintelligence optimists will tell you I am wrong. They will say humans always adapt to beneficial technology. Look at the Industrial Revolution. Yes, there were Luddites, but ultimately, living standards rose dramatically. They will argue that artificial superintelligence creates abundance so quickly that resistance becomes irrational. Why fight a system that gives you perfect healthcare, eliminates your mortgage, and provides unlimited clean energy? They will say democratic institutions can manage the transition with safety nets, retraining programs, and gradual implementation. That artificial superintelligence itself could design the perfect policies to maintain social stability. And you know what? They might be right about the majority. Maybe 90% of people would adapt and thrive with artificial superintelligence benefits. But here is what the optimists miss. It only takes a small percentage of humans to start a revolution. World War I started with one assassin. September 11th was 19 people. A few thousand fighters destabilized entire regions. It does not matter if 90% of people love artificial superintelligence if 5% are violently opposed. Modern society is so interconnected that tiny groups have enormous destructive leverage. One power grid attack, one cyber assault on artificial superintelligence data centers, one coordinated infrastructure strike, and the abundance disappears for everyone. The optimists assume majority satisfaction equals social stability. But stability requires near-universal acceptance. An artificial superintelligence creates the perfect conditions for a motivated, skilled, desperate minority to destroy the whole system. Small groups of technically skilled, displaced workers, engineers, cybersecurity experts, military personnel planning attacks on the very systems they once built. So here is the brutal truth the optimists refuse to face. This ends in civil war. Not because artificial superintelligence is not beneficial, but because it only takes a tiny minority to destroy any system, no matter how perfect. When you give desperate, skilled people nothing to lose and everything to attack, they will. The displaced engineers know exactly how to sabotage the data centers. The former military personnel know how to conduct asymmetric warfare. The cybersecurity experts who lost their jobs know every vulnerability in the systems. By the time the majority realizes their perfect abundance depends on systems that cannot be protected from the furious but highly skilled minority, it is too late. Society fractures beyond repair. The cure becomes worse than any disease artificial superintelligence was meant to solve. It is time to stop dreaming about building perfect systems for imperfect people. Human nature does not upgrade with software updates, and it only takes a few humans to burn down paradise. We need to abandon the fantasy of artificial superintelligence before the small percentage who reject it drags us all into hell. The tech billionaires pushing this insane venture do not care about saving humanity. They care about the trillions in profit from controlling superintelligence. Their hubris and greed are leading us towards civilizational suicide. Do not let them. Share this video. Warn everyone you know. The only way to stop this madness is if enough people understand what is really at stake.